This is Justine Green. More jobs are to go at the Alfred McAlpine slate quarries in Blaenau Ffestiniog. The company is blaming the decision on the strong pound. It's another blow to the Gwynedd town, which has some of the highest rates of unemployment in Wales. The company is going to consult with the workers and is looking for voluntary redundancy.
Rural Wales is a place where many people want to escape to. It's also somewhere people want to escape from, with low wages and few jobs. I've come to Blaenau Ffestiniog to see what future there is for a community prized away from its past. There are places like Blaenau Ffestiniog all over Wales, where the past is history and the present is uncertainty. Coal, steel and slate have gone, and the remnants of our major employers have been put into museums for guided tours for a new generation living with the results of industrial revolution.
I'll measure these now.
This mine was founded in 1846 by a man called John Whitehead Greaves. He very nearly went bankrupt. It took him 3 years to find the slate. Of course, after he found it, it became a very successful business. And it's still going today, 150 years on. Right, to learn a bit more, up to the steel fence, please, facing that way.
Ken, how many people used to work in the mines in their heyday?
In this mine, over 600 men. But the North Wales slate industry used to employ over 10,000 men altogether here. 1904 was the peak period.
How many work here now?
In this mine, just over 50.
It must sadden you to see the decline of the industry.
Oh, God, yeah. Just walking through the town makes me sad, yeah.
How has the community Blaenau changed now that this is no longer an area for slate production?
Well, how do I say? I mean, in my younger days, we had plenty of things here in Blaenau to do. We had a parish billiards. We had 6 tables there. We could go there after we were 14. We had cinemas here. We had 2 or 3 cinemas. I mean, we haven't got a cinema at all here now. We've got nothing for them, really. It changed a lot. I think we had more in the olden days than we have in Blaenau now. But in the olden days, everybody was on the same level. Mostly everybody worked in the mines. When the town here was, before the war, 11,000 population, I believe it was at its peak. There used to be 5,000 people working in the mines. It was a happy atmosphere. It was happy. It was honest.
Today, young people in Blaenau Ffestiniog have little faith in the future. In the town centre, a former shop and estate agents has been turned into a hostel for homeless young people.
There's no work here. No work, no houses. Nothing for the kids to do here. It's a nice place here. It is a nice place, and I've lived here 18 years here. I like the people here. Nice people in the town here. It's just...
But presumably you want to work, you want a job, you want money.
I want a job here, but no, I wouldn't mind it being in ports or something. I know a lot of my friends have got jobs in ports. They'll get there. I wouldn't mind travelling, you know, but it's just no work, you know.
Boredom that drives the kids to start smoking and to vandalise, isn't it? It's got nothing to do with that. When I break a window or start smoking or something. Like I started smoking from boredom.
Everybody's moving out here.
Are you going to move out?
I don't know. I'm thinking of it. Because everywhere's closing down. No work. Everybody's moving away here.
On the edge of town, under the old slate tips, Griff Humphreys is filling in time before his GCSE results. His family has lived here for generations, but he's not sure that he'll be able to make a life for himself in Blaenau. If this was the only work that you could find, would you stick around in Blaenau?
Probably not. I really don't think I'd be able to stick around and do this kind of work. I'd probably like to do kind of work that I'd enjoy doing rather than kind of work that would pay me good money. And I really don't see myself enjoying doing labouring for the rest of my life. It's not something I want to do. I want to do something interesting rather than just build things, strip walls.
So as well as the bathroom, Blaenau needs a makeover as well?
Yes, I think Blaenau needs probably a bigger makeover than my bathroom does.
How about starting up your own business or something like that? Does that appeal?
It does appeal strangely. I'd like to be in control of something. I'd like to help the economy. But I know it's going to be very, very hard work.
And how about all your mates in school? What are their thoughts? Are they going to stick around or what?
A lot of friends would love to stick around, but unfortunately they're realists, so they don't really see themselves getting much work.
Back in the High Street, one of the most popular shop fronts is the employment centre. The jobs on the board are sparse, but surprisingly, there is one vacancy for a slate worker.
Currently we've got this vacancy for a slate splitter. That's with McAlpines in Blaenau Ffestiniog itself. As far as we know, it's still open. We have sent a request out for confirmation that that is so. Bearing in mind the rumours going about Blaenau Ffestiniog at the present time with regards to redundancies.
But those sort of jobs are few and far between, I guess.
Very few and far between at the present time. It tends to be somewhat of a closed shop. To gain experience, one has to actually have worked in one of the quarries. So people tend to move from one quarry to another. So that's the way of things in Blaenau Ffestiniog.
How long have you been looking for work?
I've just finished a course for a year at Coleg Harlech learning Welsh, so it's just this week that I've started. But previous to that, I really wasn't employed for 2 to 3 years since I've moved to Blaenau Ffestiniog, in full-time work anyway.
And what was your previous job?
Previously, I worked as a development worker in a hostel for women recovering from childhood abuse. So it's very different to the work that's on offer around here.
What are the chances of finding what you want in Blaenau?
To be perfectly honest, I think that it's quite remote. I think I'm going to have to travel at least to Bangor, Carnarvon way, to find the sort of posts that are available to somebody of my experience and qualifications who's not completely fluent in Welsh.
And does it matter that you have to travel?
No, because I want to work. I don't want to stay on benefits. I've got 2 children to support, and it's important to me for my own personal sake that I do that and to set a role model for my children.
Yeah, that's okay.
And in terms of unemployment, what's the picture?
We have yet to find out what the effect of Moffats and the redundancies in Moffats are going to do to the unemployment figures, because they're yet to actually come in and sign on, most of them.
Moffats have made clothes on the outskirts of Blaenau Ffestiniog for over 50 years. They're closing in September. Nearly 40 of its workers will be looking for jobs that will be difficult to find, and trips to the local supermarket will inevitably be less frequent.
They're closing the doors September the 1st, and we've been offered jobs in Bala. But really, we want to work for Blaenau itself.
Bala's 40 minutes away.
Yes.
So the time you paid for petrol, it's not worth it.
No, it's not going to be worth it.
And it's a long day.
Yeah.
And then coming home, do the housework and keep with the children and everything,
Yeah.
So are you going to find similar sort of jobs around here? You can find any jobs around here?
No, not at all.
What effect does it have on your health to be living under the fear of losing your job, and what that means for your family?
Well, to me personally, since they've told us we've been closing, I haven't slept because I'm really worried. And how am I going to pay off the mortgage, and how am I going to manage with the kids? I want to send one daughter to college, and that's worrying me. How am I going to manage with that? And like you say, with the shopping and paying the mortgage.
The situation is, I think, it's worse than me. She's got a mortgage. She's got a daughter going to college. Mine are only small at the moment, so I think it's a different circumstance at the moment. Isn't it?
Well, but when they come to teenagers, they want all the makes and all the,
They're going to be disappointed, aren't they? They want all those things, and you're not going to be able to provide them.
No.
Another business in the high street is for sale. Jan Johnson has run this shop for years. The economic decline will soon claim another victim. How is business at the moment?
Business is not even there at the moment. It's so low that it's just unbelievable. The trade is abysmal.
What were your takings yesterday, for example?
Yesterday I took about £80 from 9 o'clock till 5.
So what does that mean for you as a business? What does the next couple of months hold?
The next couple of months doesn't hold anything for me because I have to put this building up for auction to try and sort myself out with the bank and try to come out even. But I don't think it's going to happen.
What's the reserve price at the auction?
35,000.
And how much did you buy the business for?
41. 10 years ago.
So you lose whichever way?
Oh yeah, I can't win. I'm in a total no-win situation. I've tried for 12 years to run a business here, and with the economic recession that's going on, it's just no longer viable.
For the estate agent across the road, it's a familiar story that can be read in the details in his window. On face value, bargains galore. Simon, we've just been talking to Jan in the gift shop across the road. You're the estate agents now in charge of the auction. Why can't you get rid of it?
We can't sell it because the economy here just isn't sufficient to pay enough money for the shop to enable the present owners to leave with the sort of money that they've invested in it. They've worked really hard on the shop. They've got a business going in it. They spent an awful lot of money converting what was really a bit of a wreck into an excellent looking building. So they put a lot of capital, a lot of investment, a lot of time into it. But they just can't raise the money on the open marketplace to pay for all the effort that they put in.
It's on for 65,000. What's it going to go for?
A property very close to that particular property is just sold at auction. It's larger, more modern, got a car park. It's sold for £23,250. That's probably the best bet for an open market value. Of course, this is a trading property. It's got a very nice flat with it, but the market just really isn't there to sell this sort of property.
She might get a third of what she paid for it 10 years ago.
If she can't sell the business, yes.
It's pretty bleak, isn't it?
It's bleak, yes, but having said that, it has provided an income for them, so it's proof positive that you can make a business work here. Lots of other people make businesses work here. It's just that it's such a struggle to get them to work. There just isn't enough money in the economy.
John, how much have you taken today?
About £93 without actually physically counting it out.
And compared to when you started the shop, how does that compare?
It's about 50% down.
How much do you need to be taking a day to make ends meet?
I need, just to cover the overdraft and the outgoings, I need to do at least 700 a week. That's 6 days of trading, so it's got to go over the £100 a day average. Last week's was £554. When you've spent what we have, and my husband has worked physically on this building the way he has, and for us to lose it, that's why I feel gloomy.
So there's going to be another boarded up shop here?
Most likely.
I don't know, it must be demoralising for people who live here when they drive into Blaenau Ffestiniog. The first thing they see is this Barclays Bank branch closed down, and then something that looks as if it should be in Northern Ireland rather than North Wales. What's all this about here?
Well, I think it is demoralising when we lose premises and lose ventures from the town. But I think we've also got to look forward now as well. And behind us here is an example of one of the properties we're going to be developing in the next year. Now, this is an example of a property which has been derelict for a number of years, therefore it's dilapidated. And the investment required by anyone setting up a business or a new venture would be excessive. So what we're hoping to do is to do the renovation works ourselves, bring it up to a decent standard, and therefore rent it out then to any new enterprise or a company who wants to move into the area. Now that will not only improve the visual, the look of the area and of the high street, and let people in the area know that positive things are happening. It'll also have a very prominent psychological effect. You know, it will give the area a boost, we hope. Architects have recently been appointed to carry out the work, and just now we're soliciting interest amongst local businesses in the properties, and we're hopefully going to be appointing contractors to carry out the work in the near future. What we're trying to achieve is to improve the environment here. We're trying to look at the marketing of the area, how it's presented, how it's perceived by the outside world.
Why is perception so important? What does it matter what people think of the place?
To people outside, the perception of the area is very important because it decides whether they visit here, open a new branch of their business here, invest in the area. So the way people see the area and the way people feel about the area is a very important part of our task in regenerating the area, as well as obviously the more physical improvements need to be done as well.
My preconceptions of the town were changed as I visited the old junior school. It's been turned into a business centre, a dramatic departure from the past. But will the new occupants show Blaenau the way ahead? How did you start in the business?
Well, I did my degree course in Manchester, and after a year in Zimbabwe, I sort of came to the conclusion that there was no way I could ever compete on a mass-produced level because I saw them being made there. I wanted to live here. I'd been away for quite a time, so I decided the way forward was my own business.
And you can achieve growth over the next few years without leaving here? You won't have to relocate?
Well, obviously, I think, you know, I move about, I go to London, but I think today it's irrelevant where, you know, if you're costing your product at the right price, obviously. It's irrelevant, you know, where they're actually made and where they're actually designed. As long as I keep in touch, which means maybe a bit of travelling for me, but at the moment I don't see it as a problem.
So location doesn't seem to matter in the international fashion business. The boys and girls in the next classroom, part of another new business, believe e-commerce and the internet offer places like Blaenau its best chance of regeneration.
We could be anywhere. We could be in Manila, Ulaanbaatar, San Francisco, or Blaenau Ffestiniog. We have good communication facilities, we've got a good connection to the internet, we've got video conferencing facilities, and we can talk with our customers using those capabilities.
How many people do you employ?
We have 12 people here.
And what's the turnover?
Turnover here is roughly about £1 million a year, and that's supporting our software development activities.
Is this the future for Blaenau, to forget about big manufacturing from the past and move into the present, small businesses like this?
Manufacturing is very difficult at the moment in the UK, regardless of what location you're in. The future of the UK economy is going to be about services, the service industry, and whether that's software or tourism or food, clothing, and so Blaenau's future is linked with the UK's future.
The key to Blaenau's future is its young people. In the town's old market hall, these students are carving out new paths, which will strike a chord with an older generation. Slate has always been associated with Blaenau's past, but here it's part of its future too.
What I wanted to do was get the children involved, so that you have a new generation of people that will start using slate
Rather than just seeing the slate on the tips as a waste material, it's a material they can use artistically and creatively to express themselves and the history of this place. So we've got them coming in from the local schools, and they'll come in through the summer as well and learn how to carve, and they will design things and work alongside me through the whole time. The nicest thing I've seen to start off with is seeing the older people coming in, and some people who are retired quarry workers, and just their expressions when they see the children carving. And there's a look of hope and the vitality that they see. They've worked all their lives in the quarries, and the quarries are still a lot of uncertainty. But they look and they can see a new generation of people that are carving using the slate, and there's a new future in that. Using old traditional skills, but then reapplying it in a new way.
In the 1960s, a new industry offered hope to the town: nuclear power. Trawsfynydd employed hundreds of local people. Now there are just a handful left, dismantling it. There'll be no more careers built here.
Traws has always been there. Well, not always been there, but if it wasn't Traws, it was the quarries. But now we need to get people motivated and see what they can offer their own community and be self-reliant rather than relying on other people. I think that what we've got to do is just try and give our children the best education possible and provide them with the skills that they need for the real world, for working, and to broaden their outlook on what work is and go outside the traditional modes of working, traditional models which they see around them.
One of Rian's students on work experience is the son of a Trawsfynydd worker. He's found a work placement, but there won't be a job for him here when he leaves school. Hugh won't be following in his father's footsteps. He'll have to look for work further afield.
What other tasks are they set you?
I've been putting old bulbs in the bin and stuff.
Old bulbs in the bin?
Yeah.
Why? Are they?
Want them.
They didn't want them. Are they finished their life? Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything intrinsically wrong with people leaving?
No, nothing at all. I think by going away and coming back, what you get is a more vibrant society. It would stagnate if everybody stayed in the same place all the time. You've got to have movements within society, coming and going, new blood. Otherwise, I think you can get far too parochial, and in some ways, I think we Welsh are very parochial. We can all talk about hiraeth, can't we? We can't live in it.
At the centre of the town, a monument to its past. Now a favourite gathering place, like anywhere in Wales. Exam results are expected soon. Among the topics of conversation, hope for the town and hope for their future. What are you going to do next?
Cry.
A-levels?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
As long as I don't make a complete mess, which I do actually feel I've done at this point in time. So it doesn't look too bright for me.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
It better be.
We've talked to loads of people during the making of this programme about Blaenau and its prospects for the future. Some are very pessimistic, others are optimistic. As two people at the start of your careers, your lives, are you pessimistic or optimistic about Blaenau's prospects?
I'm slightly pessimistic. It's a beautiful town, but it seems to be in free fall now. Things just don't seem to be slowing down anymore. I mean, jobs are being lost, people are moving out. It just doesn't feel like it's going to stop. It's bound to stop, and it's sure to be a Blaenau here for, as long as civilization keeps on going. But I don't know if there's much of a place for me in Blaenau.
Is there a place for you?
I think there is, yeah. I'm a bit optimistic about Blaenau. I think there's lots of futures of Blaenau myself. I think if more people come here, more money will come into Blaenau, and then maybe it'll go better.
When you've done your A-levels, presumably you'll be left with a choice as to what you go on to do. Maybe you'll go on to university, and then you'll have to make a decision, I guess, as to whether or not you come back here to work and live, or you go away. What do you think you'll do?
Well, I think I'll probably see what happens. If there is a place for me to come back here and work, then I think I'll probably take it. I'd really love to take it, but if it stays the way it is now or gets worse, well, it doesn't look like I will be able to come back after I've gone to university, which would be a shame.
If you'd like to tell us where government money should be spent to help communities like Blaenau Ffestiniog, call the Sarah Dickens programme tomorrow morning on BBC Radio Wales, or visit our website. Next week in the real world...